Oh.
He's here. So excited.
Oh, hello. Ah.
Okay, have so much fun, my dear. Mwah, I love you. I love you too.
Make sure to come home safe, right? Bring her back by curfew, okay?
I will.
Don't
I will.
do any.
I will.
Don't
I
do
will.
anything stupid.
Your daughter's safe with me.
Bye.
Bye.
I can't believe this just happened.
911, what's your emergency?
It was just a crash at the light near Walmart in Eustis.
Vehicle accident, 441 Door Road, Eustis. Matter 22, medic 141, select CS3.
Okay, we have help on the way. How many people are injured?
I'm not even for sure. I see two people moving in one car, but the other car ain't nobody moving.
I think he's drunk.
It's like really bad
Okay,
now.
ambulance and fire on the way.
Like these people need help.
Try to remain calm and out of the road to prevent any further accidents.
Man, hurry up, man. It might be too late.
Okay,
I think the other person was drunk. I see a whole bunch of beer bottles and
we
stuff.
will let the officers know. Help is on the
Hurry,
way.
hurry.
Matter 22, medic 141. Further information, callers advising multiple patients with entrapment. We'll be dispatching Squad 7, Captain 22. Please air support on standby.
All right. Good morning, guys. My name is Jared from Eustis Fire Department. I'm captain here. All right. So we get the call for service. All right. We got a vehicle accident. Our officer that's in the right jump seat, he's going to give us a windshield size up. He's going to let dispatch know what's going on and also the other units that's coming in. All right. So this time he's going to do a nice big 360 around the scene and start seeing what we have, any hazards, if we're on electrical wires, things like that. Our driver, we got David Whitaker. He's going to be setting up a tarp. We're going to start setting equipment down, get everything ready to start extricating this car. All right, this time they are starting triage, so we're going to start going around and see what our most critical patients are and start working that way off. All right, our fireman here, Robert Joff, he's starting to do stabilization. We call this primary stabilization. We got wood and cribbing, different things, so we're going to start stabilizing the vehicle so it's not moving as we start cutting on it. Right up front here, white helmet, we got Captain Wellington. He's going to act as our command and OIC. All right, he'll start taking command of the situation, step back as a safety, look for things on the outside, the big picture. All right, so you'll see we got Robert Jolffe starting to let the air out of the tire after we do cribbing. This will help keep the vehicle stable, keep it from rolling, things like that. We're not going to pop the back tires just so the tow truck can get it out of here a little easier. All right, we're starting to set tools up from behind the vehicle. So you might hear tools such as Jaws of Life. Okay, we got some cutters and spreaders. All right, these are all battery operated these days, so it makes it a lot easier to maneuver around and get further away from the truck. So at this time, we would normally start taking glass, things like that, getting out of the way. We'll start moving panels inside the truck so we're not cutting through airbags and things like that. All right, our driver, David Whitaker, up here, he's got the spreaders. Those things have up to 50,000 pounds of spreading force. And then the cutters behind them that Mr. Joff's got, those have over 100,000 pounds of cutting. Goes through lots of different metals and things like that. All right, typically at this time we'd have other units here. We might possibly get somebody in gear in the rear of the vehicle to help hold C-spine, keep their neck still in case they have any injuries. Start cutting the seat, whatever we have to do to move it back. All right, this time we're gonna start taking the door off, so we kind of get them doors out of the way. If we're doing a full roof off, we would take all 4 doors and then start taking the roof completely off to make better access to them. So in the vehicle that they're extricating, the driver of this vehicle is what we consider a signal 7. So there's no further help we can give this patient, and we're going to focus on one that has a... I take that back. It's going to be in the other car. All right, so they've done their assessment on the patient. They advise there's nothing further they can do for them. They're going to help the patient that's still vital. All right, so basically this time they're doing extrication. What we're going to do is we're removing the vehicle from around the patient, so we're not maneuvering them, causing further harm if they have any back injuries, neck injuries, things like that. So typically while this is all going on, we'd have other units helping us out. We'd have EMS. They are on their way now. Typically, we consider this a trauma alert. We would have an air care unit, so we'd have a helicopter come and do transport to the closest trauma hospital. Due to weather near the airport, they were unable to lift off this morning, but normally we'd have them come land somewhere outside the scene where we can transfer patient care. Air care has different medications than we do. They have different protocols they can do. They can give whole blood, things like that. All right, so we got both doors on the passenger side of the vehicle. They're now going to take what we call the B post. The posts go from the front to the back, so this one will be the A, B is in the middle. They're going to remove that post to help get the patient out without having to move them around room. All right, some other things about our equipment here, the spreaders and cutters, things we have rams we can push with. It's nice having battery operated because we can go far from somewhere, but we can also submerge these underwater. So if we had a car that was stuck underwater, we could force a door open still. All right, looks like we're almost done with that B post. All right, at the same time, we could be providing care if we had another unit here. We could have somebody inside the vehicle, and they could start managing airways, medications, things like that. Start an IV if we can give medication. We need to give fluids. All right, so our extrication this time would be complete for our scenario here. All right, we have what we call a backboard. We would get this underneath somebody, help stabilize their spine, their neck, get them on that board to keep them isolated. All right, typically this time we're going to start packaging the patient. We would get them ready for EMS to transport. One thing, our fire trucks, we are all ALS in Eustis, so ALS is advanced life support. So we have everything that the ambulances have, we just do not transport. We have the same medications, all kinds of different medical equipment as far as also with our fire stuff. All right, so our most critical patient's been taken care of. They've been transferred over to EMS. We would start working on the other wounded that had less injuries at this time, less critical patients.
All right, so while all this is going on, the police have a role in this as well, right? We have to investigate the traffic crash, and then once the traffic crash is completed, we have to let the driver of the vehicle know that we're now moving into a DUI portion of it because we believe that they are under the influence of alcohol or under the influence of some type of narcotic, okay? So we as police officers, we have to make that determination that this is when the traffic crash stops, and this is when the DUI investigation begins. So you guys are going to hear Officer Murray here kind of give the drunk driver some exercises to do. Murray, we can move to the track right here, make it a little bit easier. And so I'm going to explain what we're looking for. I want you guys to listen. Just listen to the instructions that she's given. And even sometimes sober, these things are a little hard to do. But they're a whole lot harder when you're drunk. So just pay attention, and I'll give you guys some instructions.
How are you? I'm Officer Murray. I work for the Eustis Police Department. At this point, I'm going to move into a DUI investigation, okay? I'm going to ask you to do some exercises. Are you willing to do these exercises with me? Okay, before we begin, I just want to make sure, are you comfortable? Are you comfortable in the shoes that you're wearing, your clothes that you're wearing? Okay. I have some medical questions I'm going to ask you first prior to starting any exercises. Are you sick or are you injured? Okay. Are you diabetic? Do you take insulin? Are you under the care of a doctor? What are you under the care of a doctor for? Do you have seizures? Do you take any medications currently? Do you have any physical handicaps? Are you under the care of a dentist, or have you seen a dentist within the last 24 to 48 hours? Do you wear glasses? Okay.
So all of those questions are asked for a reason. 9 times out of 10, these DUIs usually end up in court at some point, right? So we're building a baseline by asking these questions, by making sure when she gets ready to do some of these exercises, such as a one-legged stand or a walk and turn, she doesn't have any physical impairments that keep her from doing that. So whenever they come back to court in 6 months and they say, oh, well, I had a sprained ankle during that, well, then why didn't you tell the police that whenever we were investigating this? So those are part of the reasons why we ask those questions.
Okay, the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to place your feet together just like this. All the way together. Place your arms by your side. You're going to remain like this until I tell you to begin. Do you understand? Okay. I'm going to have you look at the tip of my pen. Do you see the red dot at the tip of my pen? Can you please remove your hair from your face? Do we have a way to secure that back? There you go, perfect. Okay, so you're going to keep your head straight and you're going to follow the stimulus with your eyes and your eyes only. Do not move your head. Do you understand?
All right, so this exercise right here, it measures the nystagmus in an eye, and the nystagmus is the involuntary eye jerk that happens whenever you reach maximum deviation. So that means whenever you're looking as far to the right without moving your head or as far to the left as possible, people that are extremely impaired, their eyes will involuntarily jerk. So that means they can't hold it straight, and 9 times out of 10, you'll see them trying to move their head to make up for that. So those are some of the clues that Officer Murray is looking for during this investigation.
All right, continue to look at the tip of the pen. Follow the stimulus. I know it's uncomfortable for me. All right, we are going to move on to our next exercise, okay? It's called the walk and turn. I'm going to have you place your left foot on the line like this, your right foot directly in front of it, heel to toe, like this, with your arms by your side. You're going to remain in this position until I tell you to begin. Do you understand? Okay. When I tell you to begin, you're going to take 9 heel-to-toe steps down the line, keeping your eyes on your feet, counting each step out loud. Once you reach the end, keep your front foot on the line using your back foot to make a series of small steps to turn around. Then, you're going to take 9 heel-to-toe steps back down the line in the same way. You're going to keep your arms by your side, look at your feet. Do not stop walking until you finish. This is a continuous exercise. Do you understand these rights? Or do you understand these instructions, okay? I'm going to show you, and then I'm going to ask you to begin. Now remember, I've asked you to stay in this position. Please stay that way until I tell you to begin. Do you understand? All right, it's going to look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth until you get to 9. You're going to take a series of small steps and continue back down the line. 1, 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth until you get to 9. Do you understand? Do you have any questions? You may begin.
All right, so instructions are given. We also demonstrate it to make sure that they have an understanding of what we are asking them to do. A lot of times you will see them do exactly what she is doing right there because it is very hard for somebody who is impaired to walk a straight line. Stepping off, not touching heel to toe, using your arms to balance yourself, and then taking too many steps, as well as not taking a series of small steps to turn around. A lot of people will just kind of turn around and take off walking again. So those are all clues that we look for.
Have you concluded the exercise as instructed? All right, we're going to move on to our next exercise. This exercise is a one-leg stand. I'm going to have you place your feet together, just like this, arms by your side. Remain in this position until I tell you to begin. Do you understand? When I tell you to begin, raise either leg, whichever one you're most comfortable with, approximately 6 inches off the ground. You're going to keep your foot raised and parallel, both legs straight. Keep your arms by your side. Look down at your raised foot and count out loud in the following manner. 1001, 1002, 1003, so on and so forth until told to stop. Okay, I'm going to demonstrate. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, so on and so forth until I tell you to stop. Do you understand? When you are ready, you may choose either leg and you may begin.
All right, so same instructions. We gave a demonstration as well. They're told to look at the tip of their toe while their toe is pointed up. We also tell them to count out loud in a prescribed method, 1001, 1002, 1003. All of those are basic clues that anybody who is not impaired should be able to complete at a very easy task. So we use that as, well, they counted 1001, 1002, when we just said 1001, 1002. So those are all clues that we look for as well. We have a total, if you will, clue count that we reach, and once those are reached, we determine that the driver is under the influence of some type of either narcotic or alcohol.
Okay, the next exercise is going to be finger to nose. Again, place your feet together, your arms by your side. You're going to stand with your feet together and you're going to make a fist with both hands like this, extending your index finger like this. Turn your palms forward like this. Remain in this position while I explain this task. Do you understand? So remain like this. When I say to begin, you're going to tilt your head back about 45-degree angle and close your eyes. It's going to look like this. I will give you a command of either right or left. When I say right, bring your right index finger up, touch the tip of your nose with the tip of your finger, and return back down to your side. When I say left, bring the left index finger, touch the tip of your finger to the tip of your nose, and back down to your side. Do you understand? It's going to look like this. Right, left, so on and so forth, okay? You may get in position, put your head back 45 degrees, close your eyes. Right, left, right, left, left, right. You may open your eyes. We have one more exercise, unless you want to explain it. Okay. So place your feet together, your arms by your side, your heels and your toes touching, just like this. When I tell you to begin, you're going to tilt your head about 45-degree angle, close your eyes, and estimate the passage of 30 seconds in your head. When you feel like 30 seconds has passed, bring your head forward and say stop. Do you understand? When you're ready, you may begin.
So while she is doing that, the officer will actually have 30 seconds. They'll look at their watch or whatever to kind of judge that 30 seconds. When you're impaired, time moves a whole lot slower than when it's actually moving. So a lot of times I've had people tell me, okay, stop, and they're actually only at about 5 seconds. So those are all clues that we look for, and then once we reach those clues, she's going to go to jail.
So you done with the exercise? You feel like you've completed? I have one more exercise for you, okay? I need you to put your hands out like this, look up to the sky, and close your eyes.
So we do this to make them think that they're actually doing another exercise. That gets us in position to actually put you in handcuffs without you taking off running from us. So she has reached the maximum amount of clues that we need to make the judgment that she is actually impaired, right? She could be having a medical episode that she didn't tell us about, but whenever they get to the police station or they actually get to the Lake County Jail, they're given the opportunity to submit to a breath sample. If you refuse, your license gets automatically suspended for a year, and there's a bunch of other fines and stuff like that. So I'm going to bring out two individuals from the state attorney's office who has graciously donated their time to kind of explain the next steps. Once you get arrested and you get assigned a court date, they're actually going to talk to you about what happens from there.
Good Good morning, everyone. My name is Monica Bodner. I'm here with Michael Bodner. We're assistant state attorneys, prosecutors at the Lake County State Attorney's Office over in Tavares. So at this point, you're in jail. You've gone through booking, you've answered their questions, you're under arrest, you've been charged. Either it's with DUI, with DUI manslaughter if someone ends up dead. There's different charges, right? So we've heard misdemeanor and felony. Misdemeanor is going to be your less intense DUI, I would say, and then felonies would be the ones that cause death and other conditions. So within 24 hours of getting arrested, you're going in front of a judge. If you're too drunk, they might not give you a bond. A bond is when there's a monetary amount that you could pay to get out of jail. You're going to have conditions like you can't drink while you're outside of jail, and certain other conditions that the judge imposes. But it could be that the bond is tens of thousands of dollars that someone's going to have to figure out how to pay for you. I don't know if you have savings for college or a savings fund, but that could be gone, right? Your parents might have to pay something, you might have to use your savings, and the judge ultimately, depending on certain factors, could decide to not give you a bond. So that means no amount of money can buy you out, right? Your daddy can't save you now, I would say. After that, let's say you get out or you're still in, then you're going to have different court hearings over and over, months at a time. It could be years at a time. You're going in and out of court. If you're not a legal adult, your parent has to come with you. It's really embarrassing, over and over until either you take an offer to resolve the case or a judge decides what you're going to get after a jury trial. So let's talk numbers and consequences now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So by a raise of hands, let me see. How many of you have a driver's license? Good, that's a lot of you. Well, if you're in this situation and you're arrested for DUI manslaughter, you can pretty much kiss that license goodbye. It's never coming back. There's a permanent revocation. It's gone, folks. Then we're going to talk about what you're facing, what you could be in jail for, how long you can be in jail. If you're convicted of a DUI manslaughter, that's a second-degree felony. That's up to 15 years in state prison. And in the state of Florida, there is a 4-year minimum mandatory. That means no matter what, if you're convicted of DUI manslaughter, you are doing 4 years in prison at least. And you can do up to 15. Let's say that you took off from this accident. You didn't want to get caught. Let's say that you knew this happened, that somebody probably was injured or died, and you decided to run away to try and save yourself. That's now a first-degree felony. That's almost 30 years. You can do up to 30 years in prison and still have that minimum sentence, by the way. Ladies and gentlemen, it's very serious. If you are convicted of this crime, it is not just life-changing, it is life-changing for you, your whole family, and obviously for all those involved. And your freedoms, convicted felon, in prison, no license, all those things can happen. So obviously, the correct choice in this situation is to not do this in the first place.
And if I can just go back to even before we get to prison time, once you're in jail, I've seen a lot of you with your phones out, recording, taking pictures. That goes on the internet, right? Let's say that's you in that car, or that's your friend that didn't make it out. The photos have been taken, the videos have been taken, they're being posted on TikTok. Your mugshot where you don't look cute, your prom makeup has melted off, your hair is undone, your eyes are bloodshot, that's circulating the internet. So even before we get to prison, just think about things like that. If you have a football scholarship, right? You got to school, college, they recruited you, football scholarship, they're not gonna want you anymore, right? All that is on the line, so just think about that. Even if the 4 years doesn't sound so scary, just think about how you've been checking your watch to graduate and get out of these 4 years of high school, right? That 4-year minimum mandatory sentence for choosing to either drink or consume a substance, it's not worth it, all right? So just think about those things. Thanks.
So this is probably the worst and the hardest part of being a cop, right? Not only do the students and the kids and the people that are involved in this affected by it, law enforcement officers are really affected by this as well, because we have to go notify the parents that their child is no longer coming home. That the next time that they see their child, that is going to be at a funeral home, right? Because of somebody's implications of drinking and driving. This is what it looks like.
How are you guys?
We're doing well.
Yeah,
Good.
we're doing fine.
My name is Officer Murray. I work for the Eustis Police Department, okay? I'm here tonight in reference to your daughter, Julia Smart. Okay, when was the last time? I would take a seat. Just sit down with me, okay?
I'm okay.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm fine.
Okay. So, Julia unfortunately was in an accident.
Is she doing okay?
She is not doing okay. Unfortunately, she did pass away on the scene. We do have resources for you. I will be here for you as long as you guys need. We can contact family members.
Are you sure it was her?
Yes, I am.
My baby.
So that's real life. That's real life. Can you imagine that being your mom and dad at home? Or your grandma, grandpa, or aunt, uncle, whoever it is that you live with, your guardians, right? Can you imagine that being them at home, right? And it may not even be you that is drinking and driving. It may be a friend of yours that is like, nah, I'm okay. And they get in the car and drive and they hit and kill somebody else. Or they hit and kill themselves. And you have to live with that for the rest of your life, knowing that if I was just to take the keys, or if I was to tell Allred at prom, hey, this person is intoxicated because they were out in the parking lot drinking and now they want to drive. I would rather stop you, right, and have that conversation and make sure that you get home and not charge you than for you to decide to get into a car, drive at an ungodly amount of speed, and hit somebody head on and kill them. Because that is the rest of your life that you are going to have to live with that. What happens whenever you get and you're the driver and now you're paralyzed because your face smacked off the steering wheel and it broke your neck. And now you are paralyzed from your shoulders down for the rest of your life. It's not a good decision. So while the investigation was going on, you saw these two officers right here. They were doing what they call a traffic homicide investigation. Because somebody died during the traffic crash, they have to come out, take pictures, they take measurements. There's a whole math equation. So for the ones of you that want to be police officers that say, I don't need math, here you go. There's a whole math equation that they can put into a formula, and that formula will tell you how fast you were going, when you applied your brakes, how fast you were when you hit that car, and how long you skidded for with your brakes. It'll tell you all of that stuff. So that's what they were doing. They were recreating the crash scene so that they could get the information to turn over to the state attorney so that they could then turn around and prosecute you for DUI manslaughter. So I hope all of this was relevant to you guys. You guys, the ones that are going to prom, you will see me there Saturday night. But I would rather you come to me and tell me, hey, somebody is trying to leave and they are intoxicated or are they impaired. Please take this serious and understand that drinking and driving has serious implications that will affect you, your friends, your family, your friends' family for the rest of their lives.